Hello, Vibers. Thanks so much for tuning into Northern Vibe this Monday, the 24th of October. Got a great one for you tonight. There's a magnificent, talented young lady, Charlotte Powell. She's 14 years old. This magnificent, talented young lady. She's already released a single. She's a singer. She's a songwriter. She's a she wrote the theme song for the upcoming Cairns movie, which is making me really, really excited, Lindy Lou. So I spoke to this up-and-coming young lady who really is someone to watch about her life, her creative process, and making the song. So, look, without further ado, I'm going to give you a really quick taste of the song and then into the interview. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, please like, please share, and make sure that you tell everybody about Northern Vibe and this particular interview. Thank you so much.
What a bad girl.
Well, that's the when she talks about the bad girl, obviously that doesn't mean her, that means the character Lindy Lou in the movie. So let's now flick across to the interview itself. But let's dive right in. So you're at the Tablelands Folk Festival. Okay.
Yes. So I'm a singer, a songwriter, a guitarist, and an actor. I love music. I love acting, performing, entertaining. It's all my passions. So yeah, I've performed at the Tableland Folk Festival, and I will be there again this year.
All right. Well, that's opened up a number of questions for me. I really want to do because you do have a bit of a remarkable skill set. But I kind of want to focus on the music, but I just can't go past without the acting thing. So tell me about that.
So I've done classes since I was young. I got into music first, and then I thought, I want to give something else that's creative a go. And I was like, I want to try acting. So I have an agent, and one of the most interesting roles I've done was being a goth in the FASD awareness campaign, which stands for fetal alcohol syndrome disorder. And yeah, I played a goth. That was a ton of fun.
So did they make you read Edgar Allan Poe or anything on stage? Did you have to get all the makeup on and all that kind of stuff?
Well, this one was for film, so it was for like a TV commercial.
Right.
Yeah, but I've done theatre as well. I recently completed a theatre show called Shadows from the Past, which was based in the Cairns Pioneer Cemetery. And we retold a lot of the history and stories of people who have passed and had a really interesting life. Yeah.
I love Shadows in the Past. Which character were you?
Well, I myself and a few other young performers all had a monologue that we shared, and we were this character called Girl, who was basically an unknown character, and there's not much information on her. She's sort of like an outcast. Yeah.
Oh.
But I also was the musician as well. I did a few songs for the performance to create the atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, we go religiously every year. We missed it this year only because we got in too late for the tickets. Like, people, honestly, you got to sell your soul to get one of the tickets to that. And considering that it's a relatively unadvertised local event, it's popular.
It really is. Yeah. We struggled to get tickets my parents struggled to get tickets as well, but they got them in the nick of time.
Oh, all right. So, all right. What got you into music?
I grew up listening to a ton of artists, Taylor Swift, Missy Higgins, local artists, and I've just loved the idea of being on stage and performing, and sharing my ideas and just what I love doing. So I was in choir all through junior school, and then I was like, all right, I want to give being a solo artist a go. So I started taking lessons, I started singing, and then I eventually got into guitar as well, which led me to songwriting.
Wow. All right. And that's it's like you're leading me into it. Okay, so tell us about your songs.
Yeah, so I'm writing a lot of new material at the moment. I've recently just finished making my music video for my very first single, which I'm releasing on the 1st of October, called Fallen Angel.
That's just got to be so exciting.
It is so exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. So tell us about the tunes on that.
So one of my teachers at school was directing a local feature film called Lindy Lou, which I got involved with. I started doing some behind the scenes sort of work, like photography and running, doing like little any jobs that needed on set. And then I approached him and said, you know, I'm a singer songwriter as well. And he was like, all right, well, let's, you know, write a song for us, and I'll see what we think of it, and I'll show it to the whole crew. I wrote the song called Fallen Angel, and they loved it. So I recorded it, and yeah, it's about the main character, Lindy Lou. It's her her theme song. It's, you know, it talks about the woman Lindy Lou, who's a bit of an outcast. She was hanging with the wrong people, and that got her into some really negative situations. And you know, she's done the wrong things, but this song's basically explaining that she's good at heart.
You filmed a film clip for it as well, would you?
Yes, yeah. I with the same very similar crew, we went out and filmed a music video for it just a few months ago. We're in the process of editing it. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever done, because I got to do my two favorite things, both acting and music. Yeah, that was on the tablelands. So we went to Mariba, Tolga, Jagan, all of the, you know, beautiful sceneries in the tablelands.
Oh yeah, it's God's own country up there as well. And look, you know, if you don't mind me making an observation, you're quite young. You've already punched out a number.
Yeah, I'm 14.
Yeah, 14 years old, punching out these, let me say, amazing songs, because I'm a fanboy. I love your music.
Thank you.
I was there watching the making of the film clip, and I thought you did a great job. And we didn't have to do too many takes, so that was... But look, you already, like I said, you already have a repertoire. What is your favorite song of yours that you've wrote? And is that different from the one that you're most proud of? Would you mind leading us through?
Yeah, of course. My music genre is contemporary country, folk, and indie. So I'm really into storytelling in my songs and expressing myself through music. So whatever I do, every song I write, I pour my heart out into it, whether it's from experience or just inspiration I get from family, friends, or, you know, events happening around me. So Fallen Angel is definitely one of my favorite songs I've ever written. But I've got another song called Maybe, which I wrote probably 6-7 months after Fallen Angel, and that one, you know, very close to my heart. It's a bit of a love song as well, so it was a lot of fun to write, and I hope to record that one in the studio and possibly do a music video for it later next year.
Yeah, I really noticed that, you know, this theme, this recurrent theme of love, I suppose, coming through your music, and it's kind of amazing, really, because there's a high degree of vulnerability, linked with love, and I get that sense when I listen to your music. When you're trying to get inspired, you're trying to get into the zone. What do you do? Like, do you have any tricks? Do you have any routines? Is there something that you do? Can you tell us how you get from sitting there thinking, with an idea in your head, to the disciplined writing?
Yeah, to be honest, like novelists, sometimes you have a mind blank and you think, what on earth am I going to write about? But other times it just, you get an idea and you're like, I've got to record that. So, you grab out your phone, you sit down with your instrument or just vocals and you record the first draft. And then, yeah, if you don't love it, you might put it away and then come back to it later. But often if you're really in the zone, you just sit down. What I do is I spend sometimes hours sitting down with my phone or paper in front of me, just writing down a ton of ideas about a topic I've got. For example, it might be traveling. If it's about traveling, I'll write down a ton of words that rhyme, or something that is close to my heart, like a person or a place that I might travel to. And then I start to put a melody to it with my guitar, and then a rhythm. And then from there, I just build on the song. Yeah.
Right. Do you feel like you get touched by the muses when you're kind of in the zone there? Like, does it feel like something kind of touches you? Is it something that you can bring on? Because I try and do a little bit of writing, like I've written a little bit myself, and sometimes when I don't like to use the word, but it's the most accurate one. When I get constipated, like there are certain little tricks that I use for myself, and they're related to discipline and structure.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people that can kind of like make yourself come into the zone, or do you have to wait until you get touched?
It depends. Sometimes I'm, whether it's been a challenging day and I just, I need to write something, often I'll do that. But sometimes I need to sit down, I need to be disciplined and just sit there and write a song. And sometimes you fall in love with it. Other times it's something that you work on later.
Yeah. It's really funny because, I've spoken to a lot of creative people now through Northern Vibe and just generally.
Yeah.
Now, people normally do not associate discipline with creativity, because creativity is about knocking the barriers down in your head, knocking barriers down in society. It's about all these kind of things. But there has been this really common theme, Charlotte, of people having to have that disciplined structure, and the discipline below it too. It's like, okay, well, you've got to learn words, you've got to learn melodies, you've got to learn how to use an instrument, you've got to learn music, you've got to learn all of these things before you can get to that point. And for me, at least, and I've noticed from some of the comments too that I'm getting from people, when I put out the interviews, is they don't associate that with discipline. So it's kind of, it seems to be this strange relationship between order and structure and the hazy chaos of creativity. Because when you've got a blank page in front of you, and you know this better than me, like you can literally do anything with it, and that's really cool. That's also like, what do I do? Where do I start?
Yeah.
When you can do anything, it's beautiful, but it's also intimidating, and it's too much. It's overwhelming. I suppose that's the word that I'm searching for. I get overwhelmed when I see a blank page, and I'm genuinely intrigued about how people overcome that sense of being overwhelmed. And I know that other people are interested in that as well.
Well, it can be daunting to sit down and think, I need to write something. You might be pressured for time or resources, but like you said, creativity, it's pushing down those boundaries. And And sometimes it's just a matter of inspiration, just going places. It might be sitting somewhere different to where you normally write a song. Like in your bedroom, you might go out into the garden, underneath a beautiful tree, or down to the beach and put your feet in the water.
So for you, what makes good music?
For me, I have to connect to the song. I have to relate, or as cringy and cheesy as it sounds, feel the music in your bones. I've listened to a lot of Taylor Swift, and then I've listened to a lot of Guy Sebastian as well. A lot of different genres. I love Missy Higgins as well. So I don't have one specific song, but anything that, it might be one week I'm in love with a certain song, and then a few days later I'm like, oh, I love this song more now. So often it's anything contemporary country. Sometimes I'll listen to something different, like blues or jazz or a bit R&B, and I'll be like, oh, that's really cool.
How did you get into music? I mean, was there a degree of encouragement? Was there what happened? Could you tell us that process?
Yeah, my parents wonder that too, because they're not creatives. They tell me all the time, they say, I don't know where you got it from. But so I've grown up in Cairns pretty much all of my life, and choir was just this thing that we had at school that you could use to take your mind off things, or if you wanted to hang out with friends more. So I just got involved in that as a young kid, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I was like, this is cool. My voice is actually all right. And then I moved away to a small town on the border of far north of Queensland and New South Wales, called Texas. And I was there for about 6 months, just because it was very rural. There wasn't much to do there. I love music, and at that point I hadn't started learning an instrument, so I just I'd sing to myself. I would come up with little rhythms or see something and rhyme it with something else. And then when we moved back to Cairns, I said, Mum, Dad, I really love music. How can I make it a career? This is like a grade 5 saying, I really love music. What can I do to learn it more? So I started taking lessons, and then I had so many inspirational people, my parents being so inspirational to me. They've always supported my music and my creativity. So they said, go for it, Charlotte. Take lessons, do little showcases, little performances.
Yeah, leading right onto each other here. Tell us about you. Tell us about your family background.
Yeah, of course. I've got a younger brother, and my parents, like I said, have always been extremely supportive of my music. And we're a far north Queensland family. We've grown up at the beach, in the tablelands. Just we love anything we can do outdoors. Just hanging out as a family, camping, fishing, cooking dinner as a family. Yeah,
it's just these simple things, they matter so much. Like, people think it's trite, but it's not. Like, if you haven't got those foundations and you haven't got those relationships, and you got someone in your life whispering in your ear that you can do it, well, mate, you're on the way up, and you're really someone to watch, in every sense of the phrase. So, we're going to be watching your developing career with some degree of interest. What is there any particular message you'd like to leave with the viewers of Northern Vibe?
Yeah, of course. I've got so many. For anyone out there, especially creatives, just do what you love. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough, or you don't fit in the box. You need to do this to change. Don't let anyone stop you doing what you love, because you are enough, and be you. Also, one of my starting places for music was Elixir Bar in Cairns. Yeah, so when I was in grade 5 or 6, I started busking, and that's when I started just simple guitar, and I was taking lessons. I was out there earning money for equipment, for anything else I wanted to do. So I was approached by one of the owners from Elixir Bar, and they said, "Oh, you've got a really nice voice. Is there any original music you've got that you'd be happy to perform at Elixir Bar?" And I was like, "Whoa, this is really exciting. I've never done a big solo live performance before, other than some solos at school." So I took the opportunity. I wrote a song called "Dreaming's Like an Ocean." That was my first original song, and I went to Elixir Bar. I was really scared. I was super nervous. I was thinking, whoa, there's an audience watching me, all of these eyes. I'm up on stage, and after that, I fell in love with music even more. And Elixir Bar's always been there for open mic night, karaoke, watching other performers, or my music video, which is where I filmed the big scene.
This young lady's future is so bright, she's got to wear shades. She's an amazing young lady. 14 years old, she's making a name for herself in singing, but she also acts, she also writes songs. Look, I hope you found that as inspirational as I did. Her story is relevant to us all, but will be of special interest to anyone who's a creative, anyone who's a younger viewer, and anyone who's into music. Thank you so much. I'll see you all next week. Please share this one far and wide. We need to get Charlotte's story out there. We need to get as many people as we can listening to her excellent music. I put all the hyperlinks in the comments field, so you'll be able to listen to her tunes. Again, thank you so much. See you all, guys. See you guys all next week.